So let me just say hi for all world. Today we have artist talk in our post-non-human garden. It's very special, and we decided that we need to discuss it firstly and probably show the one of the most beautiful projects in our Pangarniya garden. It's a perfect garden by lab of new media, and I think they can talk to you more about it. But firstly, I want to tell about post-non-human part of our exhibition. It's a very important part as for me because we can follow relationship between human and non-human agent, and it's something absolutely new in Kosovo and through the project. So we have a lot of them, and they are very beautiful, very special as for me. And unfortunately, I can't show all of them right now because it's too much time. But everyone can go to our website and find every project. Just download all games and videos and see how it will be because it's very personal. So I'm just highly want to recommend it. As return for Perfect Garden, firstly we put it on Wandering Garden, uh, what was in 11, so yesterday. But now I want to say that Perfect Garden is something on the border. So it's something between wandering and post-non-human because it's made in Mozilla Hub and it's a special virtual space. So just want to introduce the artists, like let them introduce themselves. Daria,
Okay.
Evgenie, and Nikifor.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, hello, my name is Daria. Just let me introduce myself. I don't know what to tell about myself about. Could you just ask me some questions if you would like me to introduce, like, to tell you something about our project or like our ideas or our group? What would you like to us to share with our viewers?
I think like first maybe a little
Oh,
bit about your group.
everything.
Yeah,
Some
it
questions
will be
if you would like
nice.
me to introduce, like, to tell you something about our
Just
project or like
couple
our
of
ideas or our
sentences
group.
about your group. It's really interesting.
Us to share with our viewers? Well, just we have like me, Nikifor, Evgenii, Tony, Ksenia, Ivan, and Ilona. So we have 7 people in our group. Well, just every room and every artist have its own meaning, have its own idea of a perfect garden. Ivan and Ilona. So we have 7 people in our group.
Something
Okay,
is
yes,
go wrong.
some trouble.
Okay, it's connection. It's normal. I mean, sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll continue.
Daria, you're a little bit frozen,
What?
unfortunately, as for me. No, Daria is
Yeah.
frozen.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
she
see.
is.
So
Okay, that's life. I mean,
Yes,
uh,
that's life. So maybe I'll continue.
давай, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikifor, I think it's gonna be great if
oh,
you're gonna tell the story.
Okay. So we are students of New Stage Media Lab and have a company of 7 artists.
Yeah,
And
Nikifor, I
here we
think it's gonna be
made
great if you're gonna tell the
the
story.
perfect garden uh, during the whole time we study. We spoke a lot of about trees, about how they live, about green infrastructure, about gardens. So one time we met green activists in St. Petersburg from Green Lab ML Plus and activists from Trees of Petersburg. Um, so that time activists made some kind of quest on the Nevsky Prospect, the main city street in St. Petersburg. And quest was about the forgotten gardens that were that that were lit, that were placed in many years ago along all the Nevsky Prospect.
So in the same case, it's project between abandoned garden, wandering garden, and post-human garden. So maybe you're a little bit panicky and just cross all over the project. I think it is because your garden, your perfect garden, is a little bit separate in capsule on the air, and at the same time it's panicky. So great, it's project with what you can describe all Pangardenia. It's nice. So just sorry for interrupting. I think it is because your garden,
Yes,
your
that's
potted
true.
garden is a little bit separate in capsules on the air. And so yeah, and activists make a quest in the Nevsky Prospect, and how do you catch the idea?
Yeah, we talked a lot and we work a lot together. There was an option to take one point during the quest. So we took the last point, the Ploshchit Vostania Square. It's a big square in front of the city railway station, and in the past times there were a small garden, but now there are only place belongs to cars, and there is no trees absolutely. The first idea was to make a real garden, so take a tree and plant somewhere in the city center, because city center in St. Petersburg is very lack of green, very lack of trees.
Yes, it's true. I mean, it's always what I can see. I've never imagined that in Vostania Square we have a garden. We had a garden some time ago. For me, it's a surprise actually.
Yeah, but when we started to talk with activists, we get a lot of new information, and a lot of was very bad because of some modern city laws, because of bureaucracy. There is no able to plant trees in the city center nowadays. Because if you want to plant tree, you should to visit a lot of committees and get a lot of troubles. So we decided to make our perfect garden not in real life, where it very hard to post. In real life, it's impossible to make nowadays. So we decided to make a virtual garden.
So we thought that it's
Virtual garden and put it on the sky, where our administration
Cannot destroy it, cannot forbid it. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, maybe that's a sort of challenge. Like, see, we have garden even in the sky. Maybe that's a time to make garden more physical in future. But this is question not for us, I think. Cannot destroy it, cannot
yes,
forbid it.
and
Yeah, I
the
understand.
idea that is
So yeah,
the perfect
maybe
garden
that's a sort of
can be
challenge.
placed
Like,
can be
see, we
placed
have
in
garden
St.
even in the
Petersburg
sky.
today,
Maybe that's a
but
time to make garden more physical in future. But
we
this
need
is question not
maybe
for us.
really some time to make it real.
Yeah.
So the main idea is to get to get idea that a garden can be placed to people's mind.
Firstly, yes. Firstly, it's always a memory or imagination or visualization of idea. Yes, and how the process was. I mean, how did you do it? So you have seven artists in one project, and you need to communicate, and you have different rooms. I know. So just tell a little bit more about it. Firstly, before we start to see the project. How the process was. I mean, how did you do it?
Firstly, it was one
So
common
you have seven
process
artists in one
during
project, and you
looking
need to
for the main
communicate, and you have
idea
different rooms.
and
I know.
our
So
goal
just
for this
tell a little
project.
bit more about it.
And
Firstly, before
uh,
we start to see
one
the
time
project.
it was a project about looking for the perfect green ecosystem which allow to live together not only people but also animals, wild animals in the city, and rabbit can cross all the city from west to east and to any other direction and not to die during this path. And a lot of different elements which allow to create this perfect ecosystem. And one type of plants go further to another type of plants. For example, huge trees can stand next to the small bush and grass, and then the next step is green on walls of our towers and buildings, and the next element is green on floors and in the water, and every element of the city is become element of one element of all this ecosystem, and all this element is connected and have a good relationship with each other. And about our process, the first step was study about inner process in tree, inside of tree and outside of tree. It was about how trees communicate with each other. For example, it was very interesting to know that one tree connected with another tree by mycelium. It it's connected to roots of each plants, to each of trees, and share sugar and different signals between all of these trees, and this wood wild web and nerve system of our planet, we can say so. And it's very interesting because one or tree collect more sun and produce more sugar. That's why he can share this extra sugar with different plants. And the only way to share the sugar with child trees is to send it through mycelium, and after that this small tree is sending back signal that they achieved this sugar, and mycelium didn't stole this sugar, and this is a very smart system, because mycelium can produce sugar, but it needs the sugar to live, and it take percent for this sharing across this net. And a lot of different relationship between different type of trees. For example, some kind of trees can destroy all around them and kill another trees, or for example, uh, orchids can be a hacker and connect to this network with sugar and different resources, and steal this sugar, and don't give something back to this net. And another interesting information was about communication, not to share resource and sugar, about communication, and trees can share information about fire, about enemies, about different resources,
About water,
yeah, about water, about different broken branch, and huge amount of
about insects.
yeah, and eels, yes, and it was so amazing.
About
And
water.
now I can't see on trees like I saw it before.
About
It
insects.
changed my mind, this project, and it is absolutely cool for me. And our next step was to combine when we combined a lot of information about inner process and not inner process. What we can do with all of this, and maybe we want to create this new perfect ecosystem, and as we know, in Admiraltейский region, was planning to plant different trees, and this is our opportunity to create something amazing and important. And now we can use our new information about this ecosystem, about this perfect ecosystem, as you know. And here the perfect place for this. But as we know, it was impossible. Hi, it was impossible, and we decided to send our garden to the air. And this was a very interesting story about boxes of words. I think Daria can share with us information about this. I like how she say about this.
I'm not sure about my internet connection. It's called like Warden Cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we can hear you. Maybe it's not good connection for video, but you're still with
Okay,
us.
I'll try. So we were trying to find the form of the perfect garden just to place it in the city. And I was just looking for information, searching the web, and I found the story of a warden and his cases. And I think it's Nikifor who's the best to tell that story, who's the one who really realized what was going on there, because I just sent the picture to Evgeny and told him, well, I think I found the form of the perfect gardens. There was like a story, a man just invent a perfect garden in a bottle. He was, as far as I remember, he found the way how to transport from one continent to another plants and insects in bottles, because bottles gave the perfect ecosystem. There was enough water, and there was enough of all kind of things that are needed for plants to grow, and just how he invented. Just one upon a time, he forgot, like some like he forgot insects, or he forgot one bottle, and then bottle a plant just grow. He found a month later in his working room and was really amazed. And after that, it was like a great opportunity for everyone just to transport coffee, exotic plants, and whatever. So I thought in our case it might be the way which will work with our idea of placing a perfect garden in St. Petersburg. And after that, there was like one more point, just to make it like contemporary florariums. Florariums are round cases, or to make it like a ship. Because shipping, they were shipping, transporting from one place to another, and all that history things. And also St. Petersburg is a city where you can just find ships everywhere. Not that kind of ships that give meals, but ships that are for transporting and traveling. So we just decided to build a spaceship, and we decided to base a spaceship in IR. But after that, we just realized that we really want to place something inside that IR ship, and we need a VR ship. So with the idea of VR ship, we just started to exploring different technologies, and Mozilla Hubs was that technology that we choose. So
I
Do you
think
need to tell something more? I'm really sorry. I cannot understand if I'm on air or I'm not.
yeah, you're online. It's okay. I
Oh,
just
yeah, it's
hear you.
fine.
It's
Okay.
great. I think we thought about it, but it was a good time to see how it can be and just continue our discussion during the process. Just can I ask somebody
Okay.
to share the screen
Yeah.
and show
Okay. I can.
to our visitors how it looks?
Yeah,
Okay,
and
why
just
not?
one more thing to add about our team. So we have 7 people who were just doing their projects inside of one big project. And the thing was that we were just really trying to come up with one idea and to build like something common, something together. But when we realized that it's really impossible because every human have its own view on a real perfect
That's
garden.
true.
And yeah, and so we decided to give opportunity for everyone to give like as much a free space in online as it could be to to make his own idea, to make his own concept come true. Because we realized that it's really important to show that perfect garden is not just the only way, the only right way to plant trees or to set up a garden. Because in real modern green city, it's enough place for all kind of greens, just for all kind of plants, for all kind of life, for wildlife, for home pets. So we decided just to show all that sides, all that forms, all that I don't know, you can say like all that magic that could be in a perfect garden. So in our case, the perfect garden is not just the only right way just to have a garden. It's it's the way how we try to explain that perfect garden is a way is a way of life. It's like a street style. It's a perfect garden street style for a city, and it's style of thoughts for people who might take part in that thing and take part in making their own places more green, like something like that. I'm sorry.
It's really cool. So let's see. I want just to show it for everyone because it's looking incredible. Okay, so this is a ship.
Yep,
It's really cool.
and this is a
So
real
let's see.
panorama
I want just to show it for
of the
everyone
square,
because it's looking incredible.
Lastania Square.
So let's see. I want just to show it for everyone. Okay, so this is a ship.
Yep,
It's really cool.
and this is
So
a real
let's see.
panorama
I want
of
just to just yeah, it's a beautiful
square.
view, and it's a good
Sorry.
place for a garden when you can see all city as a bird.
Well,
So
to be honest, I think it's really maybe we can just talk to our governments and really build a ship in the sky with a garden,
who knows? Who
just to
knows?
show them. Yeah, I'd like to show them the project because we have everything just to make it true.
We'll see what will be in future. Maybe in next, I don't know, like next 20 years we will have something like this. Who knows? I mean, post-non-human era just is right now. It's not the future. It's changing day by day, and who knows? Who knows? Will be in future. Maybe in next,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
now I
know,
have an
like
idea
next
to
20 years
send
we will
this
have something like
ship
this.
to
Who knows?
another countries,
I mean,
another
post-non-human
cities, and share this
era just.
idea with different people, and maybe it can be more faster to grow in all the world.
Right now, it's not the
This
future.
perfect
It's changing day
ecosystem.
by day, and yeah. So we are inside. I mean, it
Yep,
is important.
we're inside of the ship, and this small strange amorph shapes is like a transport ship which
Uh-huh.
send plants, little plants, to the place where it will be planted.
So it's parniki. Yeah. So we are inside.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
Oh,
it's a little bit parniki.
I like my text.
Very cool. So yeah, it's so
Well,
unusual
small
too.
verdant cases. It's small verdant cases.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I'll show not all of our rooms and not
Yes,
our
sure. The
art.
project is very big and we don't have enough time
Yeah.
during our translation, but everyone need to go to our website to find the link to your work, or even go to website of Ars Electronica Festival, because we have your link on the main page of our project in Ars Electronica Festival.
We
And
have, yes, we have now.
yes, I think we have.
Oh, cool.
And everyone need to see it alive, because quality now is not really cool because we're just sharing a screen.
Yeah.
I hope you will see it in wonderful quality, and it will be new feeling, like new emotions when you just going across. I spent 2 days just see all our projects, and it was pretty cool because now it's finished, now it's full, and it's complex because you can see all of them in through to one concept, and you can see how they describing our main idea.
This room of our Daria, and maybe she want to tell something about this place.
Oh, just we start with leaves, you know.
It's
special
very
special
beautiful.
kinds of particles.
Where leaves?
Yeah. The thing was that this room is about sources, but I cannot see the main sphere of that room. As always, there is something absent on the screen. It's really funny because I have like an alive room. It's have lots of objects, and every time you enter a room, you never know the place they're gonna be, or just what kind, how many of them. Oh, just here, we're inside the biggest one.
Yeah, it's lagging.
So, yeah, well, the thing is that there was like a big one sphere that symbolized the St. Petersburg, that symbolized the real city, because the perfect garden, it's always should be divided on zones, and the perfect garden means it's like the perfect green city itself. So in a perfect garden, you should have a zone only for city people. Then you need a zone for wild animals. You need water. You need unique plants. Unique art. You need local trees and local plants, and you can also have plants from all over the sea. You need to orient on the sun and how it goes around the earth. So we have like three. So we have like a special sphere with the sun. Well, to be honest, there are like, and we have a story of an art story of trees and gardens. If you will see, like there are two pictures, one of Ivan Shishkin's, and the second one is the photo of the place where he was drawing his picture. And there was like two oaks, and now there's just only one oak. And it's not very easy to explain everything when you're looking at a screencast. I think it's better just to go and to invent the whole story.
Yes, sure.
by
That's what I
itself.
just
Yeah.
want to recommend it for everyone. Like, please visit the link. I will put it in description of our artist talk too. So
You
everyone just go inside.
Yeah, when you're inside, it's easier to understand what's going on because it's all in like VR story, and you really need to be inside and exploring by yourself, like in real life when you're just walking around, and you just need to walk around the rooms.
It's a very interesting experience, immersive experience about the sound and this sphere.
You have sound, you have light, you have like waypoints, teleports, so you just can choose where to go, and it depends which way to go you choose. And this is the very beautiful room of our Ksenia. It's telling about trees. We decided we decided something. Let's wait for a room to browse before we
decide to
start our
separate each
story.
other.
So Rebellion Street. Very interesting, actually. I mean, I think I will see in trees right now in a new way in my life, because related in city garden, because when they just growing alone between the roads or in the city, it's something what's happened with trees. I know that they can't communicate with each other if they living in the city, because the system is a little bit broken because traffic, cutting leaves and something like this every season. So let's go to another room.
Yep, we're going.
Hi. I want to add some words. I really like how our ship is look like inside because it look like our rooms are made like a labyrinth or a space where you can go to another room, go back and start searching for another room. So all the time you are traveling, you are searching, you are surfing for something. Uh, it's really like a uh, tree or green labyrinth.
Or like a house on the tree, when you can return on the room and you can just traveling a little bit. Or just, I want to put some chairs inside your garden and just sit and see how it changes time to time because it's very interesting.
Well,
You can use
there
a
is.
real chair.
Yeah, you can use a real chair because there is a concept of a garden for one person in Europe, for example, where you can just bring your own chair or find a chair in the garden and just any place you would like to
That's
just
what I
either
like to
to
do.
yeah just and it's not a and it's just a chair, so you can always say for other people, but I'm sorry, but here's the only one chair for one person, and you just experience the whole thing by your own.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is what I need during my isolation time, but I had it. Like, visit the garden and feel inside as at home. Really nice. So, what is the room it is?
This is my room. This story about different perception of time. Oh,
But no,
and
I can't hear the sound, unfortunately.
you can hear?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I don't know
let
why,
me.
actually.
How about now?
More or less, but it's quiet.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Another
You will
special
hear the
feeling.
sound in our room, not in our broadcast. And this story about different perception of time, because we as people can perceive this world in, as I think, two states or in two mode. One mode, it's very popular, same rights about to be here and now and throw out all our inner dialogues and different trash in our mind, and as you know, free your mind and all this pathos text and mode of our perception is our common state. It's like you're a person who always run, you achieve a lot of text message in different devices, and your mind is always running and it's always busy and it's always mm, not so beautiful as he can be. And the story is about to share a new mode with uh, people. When we create idea, the main idea of our project, and was generating different strategy how to grow our project. And one of idea was that now we study how to understand plants. Now we know that they can scream in ultrasonic waves, and scientists now can achieve these signals, and using neural networks can understand this message now. And we continue to grow this idea, and maybe sometime before it will be the time when we can understand plants, and plants will understand us, and we can communicate with maybe words, maybe it will be something different, but we can consciously communicate with each other as different species, and in this time we can share our skills, our abilities, and our different perception. And one of this perception is perception of time. For example, tree can live very long time if we will measure it with timeline of one person, and this is a different timeline, and um, as I call it for myself, is perception of ancient, and tree should be here and now, and to be in connect with different birds, animals, and another species, and communicate with them with smells, with sending sugar, with different another signals. At the same time, they should be in perception, should be, it's not correct, but they can be in perception of all time, ancient, in perception of ancient, and how people will perceive their life and life around of them, if they'll study to perceive this in ancient mode. I think it will be interesting. Okay, let's go to another room. Let's use our fast walking. Oh, this is the room of Nikifor.
Great.
Okay, yes, so I'll start to describe it. So my idea of the perfect garden is such kind of garden for one. I think it doesn't look like Japanese garden of stones, but for me it's a perfect garden. for, so I start from work with moss, with textures of moss. So in St. Petersburg, people always say that the city was built on the swamps. So 100 years ago, there was the swamps everywhere, and here you will see Nevsky Prospect, and these are real 3D models of the Nevsky prospect. And I started to work with textures of moss. So I made some kind of the emerald city, and decided to put here three, I can name it art objects that representing characters from the Emerald City. So here I put objects that symbolize heart, symbolize brain, so mind, and the bravery. And I think in 2020 we need to remember that we have heart, brain, and bravery to pass through this year. So this is a
yes, that's true.
Yeah. So here is three real objects representing real people from Nevsky Prospect that I really love. So it's art representing by street musicians, mind representing by one old bookseller. So you can find him with his books on the Nevsky, and the bravery is one Petersburg old woman artist that she always you can always find her on every city strike or meeting with her banner. So here I put the photo of Yelena Osipova with her banners where she's supporting city gardens.
So it was connected with your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
And I got a very interesting experience some days ago. So I used a mobile phone with Mozilla Hubs, and I go to the Nevsky Prospect. I open my room on the prospect. I go to the the place which I made, and I found musicians there. So it was very cool to see them on the mobile, and you see them in the reality. And I want to add some words about. I was also inspired by activists. They showed me a render of the Nevsky Prospect where there were a lot of trees, and I know that they have a real goal to bring back trees to the Nevsky, and I think in some years in the future it's really possible to make.
And can you share with us the story about Russian museum or garden inside of Russian museum? The cafe inside of this garden and inside of this backyard. Nikifor, do you remember the story?
I'm not sure.
It was a real garden inside of this backyard.
You mean like when you go Nevsky Prospect and there is like the chocolate museum? When you turn to the chocolate museum and there is a restaurant and a place there were a garden? You mean that story?
Yep, the story. Garden with different. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Nikifor, just I think you the one who remember the name of the garden. I forgot the name of the garden. Just a second. It's like Stroganovsky Garden. I think it's a story about Stroganovsky Garden and Stroganovsky Palace.
Yep.
Well, yeah. When you're walking and strolling down this Nevsky Prospect, there was staying a man who's inviting everybody to visit a museum of chocolate. And if you will just go with that person, you will go inside a chocolate museum, and also you will see a restaurant. But the thing is that if you will just spend some time in the restaurant, you will realize that there are just columns and sculptures who are not really common for indoors and who are common for outdoors places. I mean, like it's common for gardens, and it's because there was a garden, and I don't remember the reason why it was destroyed, but it was destroyed, and there just like a restaurant was built. But the thing was that we were so shocked with that story. So even the first for the first time we thought maybe we should build our perfect garden and place our sheep there just to just to grab some attention to the place, but because it's really a shocking story, and it's really a common story for cities like St. Petersburg, where just gardens are disappearing and just only some artifacts can show that there were a place with trees, plants, and water. And the thing was that that garden which disappeared, Stroganov's garden, in which place we can just now found a restaurant, it was like an example of a perfect garden for a city, because there were trees, grass, plants, different kind of flowers. There were sculptures. Yeah, yeah. This place.
Yeah, it's a photo of the past. It's 80s, and now I'm gonna show you the present, yes, and it describe why we have made the perfect garden. So here is the place.
Yeah, it's just like unbelievable.
It's not a joke. It's a place.
Wow.
This one. Do you see the flora and
Floor
Neptune?
and
Oh, it's shame. Sorry.
Can I go outside this cafe and show us how it looks outside? It's very strange building. And the reason why I recall the story is what did Nikifor about the story? And he's a true activist and citizen of St. Petersburg, and he sent how it calls Nikifor. It's something like
I asked a committee of historical heritage, and they answered to me that this cafe is unlegal.
to
And
the people.
yeah,
oh, it's a Lego place, yeah.
Yep. And next step was
and next step that they have 2 years to bring back the garden.
Oh, really? Oh, it's wonderful. Just it's the best.
That's great news, actually.
yeah. And now all activists know this information, and they will tell them. It's
Great.
very yeah. It's cool, absolutely cool.
It's really great. So, just I think it's a very positive news to finish our artist talk today. And thank you for showing us a perfect garden. I think it's really perfect, as for me. And I need just spend more time inside. And I think I will have more time after the Ars Electronica because, Pan Gardenia is never can finish. And we will spend more time inside our objects and inside our lectures and workshops, even after the festival, because we have time for it and it will be like more time and it will be just pre-recorded and put in our channels all the time and you can just find it.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for your visit for us today. Thank you for your story, for your project. I was so happy to see you today. Just wish you a good day and wish you good ideas for new projects because you just never need to be stopped. It's very cool.
Thank you, Anna. And have
Okay,
a nice
thank you.
day too.
Thank
See you.
you. Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye bye. Bye bye. See you.
I asked a committee of historical heritage, and they answered to me that this cafe is unlegal. And yeah,
Oh, it's a Lego place, yeah.
And next step was
and next step that they have 2 years to bring back the garden.
Oh, really? Oh, it's wonderful. Just it's the best.
That's great news, actually.
all activists know this information, and they will tell them.
Great.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really great. So, just I think it's a very positive news to finish our artist talk today. And thank you for showing us a perfect garden. I think it's really perfect, as for me. And I need just